Well, if you're traveling towards KwaZulu-Natal, let's get you the latest now on one of the busiest routes in the country. Bring in Thania Dhoogra. She's Operations Manager for the N3 toll concession. Thania, good to talk to you. So this morning around 7 a.m., I saw an image online of traffic queuing around Harry Smith on the N3. How's it looking now?
Hi, Timothy, and hello again to your viewers. Fortunately, traffic on the N3 has been flowing pretty much throughout the day. We have had very busy traffic volumes throughout most of the day, but it's starting to ease. We're seeing volumes of under 1,000 vehicles an hour in both directions.
And are you seeing mostly private vehicles or more of a public transport situation?
For the most part, we're seeing definitely a mix of traffic. There is an increase of public transport vehicles on the road, but a lot of light motor vehicles, so your private motor vehicles traveling down the road. But obviously on the N3, as always, we have a mix of traffic.
And the fact that today is the first day of the first long weekend of December, and it's almost 5 o'clock now, you're not reporting any major incidents. Is that unusual for this time of year?
I'm hoping it's an indication that our road users are really heeding the call, that they play their part from a road safety perspective and help us to keep the road incident-free. We have seen, unfortunately, though, that we have had a number of crashes earlier in the month. Fortunately, nothing today that has disrupted the flow of traffic at all. And like I said again, appealing to our road users to please help us to keep it that way.
And going into the evening hours, early morning, when some people may choose to delay their travel to around that time, does that often require a change of tactic, if you will, from traffic officials in terms of checking that people aren't driving drunk, people aren't driving when they're exhausted or sleepy?
Well, I mean, our road users should be prepared that, multidisciplinary teams and particularly law enforcement are out and about on the road. And they'll be doing the same checks pretty much throughout the day to ensure that people are obeying the rules of the road. They'll definitely ramp up those activities as are needed. But irrespective of the time of day that road users are traveling, they should make sure that they are not driving under the influence of any drugs or alcohol, and that they are making those regular stops either every 200 kilometers or every 2 hours to ensure that they're not fatigued, particularly if they are making that decision to travel at night. Driving conditions are not necessarily ideal with further reduced visibility, and especially at the moment with the weather. We are still having reports of drizzling conditions along the route, as well as overcast and misty conditions along Van Renen Pass. That does make for more dangerous driving conditions. And again, just appealing to our road users, please take that into consideration. Adjust your driving style to the prevailing conditions. Please turn on your headlights so that you are visible to all of the other road users on the road.
Is there a difference, Thania, in driver behavior, let's say, in daytime versus nighttime hours?
I think it's safe to say that, if the crash statistics are examined, that is no longer the case. That, we tend to have a similar, statistic, whether it's during the day or night in terms of crashes. But I do think, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, that with reduced visibility, tending to make for more dangerous driving conditions, it does create conditions more conducive to an increase in crash statistics. I think that also it's possible that road users expect that they might not see as much blue lights on the route at night. And I'd like to advise them that that is not the case. They can expect that there's a lot of blue light activity, high visibility. Our law enforcement teams are out and about. And, we want to make sure everybody gets there safely. So they are pulling up all the stops to ensure that happens.
Thania Dhoogra, good to speak to you. Thania is the Operations Manager for the N3 toll concession.